Hello everyone, I'm Danesh, Creative Head at Flightbase, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. Before I kickstart the session, it would be great if you could share with us where you're joining in from and how you're finding the session so far. Today, we are going to witness the grand unveiling of the one and only IDIPLOYER Nexus Plus, the brainchild of our guest speaker today, Peter Campbell. Peter is the CEO and founder of IDIPLOYER with an experience of over 5 years in the UAV industry. Peter started off as a remote drone pilot, quickly moving up the ladder to build a large client portfolio by performing aerial surveys and inspection across the construction and telecom industry. It was this experience that led Peter to his pivot toward establishing a business in drone automation. Peter and his team began developing drone docking stations in early 2020, when there were few players in the market, with a simple goal in mind: to make docks more simple, affordable, and dependable. Since the first version 3 years ago, the IDIPLOYER has gone through several iterations and advancements without really compromising on the basic principle of simplicity. And today, we return to witness yet another masterpiece of docking station designed for the DJI M300 and DJI Mavic 3 series enterprise. Welcome, Peter. We can't wait to see what you have in store for us. But before we start, I would like to, before I pass it on to Peter, I would like to share some few housekeeping rules. Please type in your questions in the Q&A tab of the session, and it will be answered at the end of the presentation. The session is getting recorded, and it will be published soon. We also have an IDIPLOYER booth in Expo session. Please make sure to visit it during the networking and booth visit slots. If you like what you're about to see next, trust me, Peter and his team have worked hard to make it happen. Don't forget to capture your favorite moments and share them on Twitter and LinkedIn with the hashtags NestGen and OpenDIB movement by tagging Flightbase and Peter. It would definitely mean a lot to us. And in case you are the chosen one, you'll have a wonderful surprise in the store. And finally, I would like to take a moment to thank our title sponsor DJI Enterprise and platinum sponsor Volatus Aerospace for supporting us in this journey. With that, over to you, Peter.
Thank you, Danesh.
Okay, hello, a massive hello from all of us from the IDIPLOYER team over here. I'm Summer Campbell. I'm the CEO of at IDIPLOYER. Look, first of all, a massive thank you to all of you for joining us yet another year of NestGen 2023. And we at IDIPLOYER are proud partners of Flightbase. And today's event is fast becoming one of the most anticipated events in drone autonomy calendar. And then talking about drone autonomy, what a journey we've had from being drone pilots in 2017 to 2019, and then moving on to drone automation engineering in 2020-23. So it's been one hell of a journey for us. 2 years ago, we launched our first product, the IDIPLOYER M2 for Mavic 2, which was a very well-received, simple dock for the DJI Mavic 2. Last year, we launched the Nexus Mavic 2, and that's the one that you must be familiar with, and which had a lot of improvements and additions, all based on our clients' feedback. Today, yes, of course, is the big reveal of our Nexus Plus, but for that, you'll just have to wait a little bit longer. But without further ado, I'm going to pass you on to Peter, our CEO, who's going to talk a little bit more about the journey we've had, about our partners, and obviously the launch of Nexus Plus. So over to Peter.
Thank you, Summer. Great introduction. Thank you very much. And yeah, it's great to be here for our second year at NestGen. It doesn't seem like that long ago we did NestGen 2022, and we're excited to launch a product then. And now we find ourselves here 12 months later with huge advancements in our technology, and it feels like we have moved mountains since that 12 months ago. So it's great to be here. Thank you very much for our partnership yet again with Flightbase. It continues to get stronger and stronger. I always start off these presentations with saying one sentence, and that's automation is really hard. We've gone through a massive journey with automation, but what it may be hard, but actually it makes us stronger as a business. So we found over the last 12 months particularly that the fact that automation is hard and the fact that hardware development is really hard just drives us to be better and better at what we do. And that enables us to have the grounding and the grassroots to actually focus on our core 3 pillars, which have always been there since the beginning of our journey. And that's simplification, affordability, and scalability. So simplification, not just in the design and build of our products, but the simplification of the use for the end user. When we look at affordability, we think, is it affordable to build? Is it cost effective for us to build here in the UK? And is it affordable for the end user to purchase and scale in the future? And then we look at scalability, and again, it's twofold. It's not just about the scalability of the product for our end users, it's about scalability for us as a business. So we have to make the build process simple, we have to make it really scalable, and we have to ensure that the build of our system is low skill, to ensure that we can be as cost effective as we possibly can, to ensure we can maintain the ethics of us wanting to manufacture and build these systems here in the UK. So moving on to kind of what I touched on at the beginning around our development and our product development and backing up the 3 pillars, we can't do that without the feedback that we get from our clients and partners and from the team at Flightbase. So we've listened, very much so from clients who received our first kind of 10 units. They were our early adopters, and they gave us all of the feedback we could possibly want, negative and positive, and all of that information we take and try and improve our systems for the future. And we're going to take a look at kind of the 3 key things we've taken away from each of our pillars. So firstly, we're looking at the simplification of our systems. And one of the key pillars is around low maintenance of the systems. So our clients said to us, we don't want to have 1 month, 2 month, or 3 month maintenance cycles. We need to put these systems out in a remote location and rarely have to visit them. To do that, we had to remove any sort of robotics or unnecessary moving parts, or think about how we can move them parts in a different way. So we very much focused on reducing the maintenance cycle and to ensure that the level of maintenance that's required from the end user is minimum. And this reduces any faults, because as some of you may be aware, having complex robotics need calibration, they need maintenance regularly. So we've taken all of that away, and we'll show you how we've done that later on in our presentation. And then our clients said it needs to be modular. As you all know, massive changes happen in the UAV industry. Over the last 5 years of being a remote pilot, I must have had 10, 15 different drone types and used them in different operations and different methods and different use cases. So we need to, as a docking station manufacturer, be able to adapt to the changes in this technology. And what we can't do is continuously go back and redesign. So we've made our system really modular, and you'll see a demonstration of how we do that in our video later. Again, backed up by our business model and pillar of simplification. And then we look at ease of. So our clients said it needs to be simple. We need to receive the dock, we need to plug it in, we need to play, and that's the kind of simplicity that we're aiming for. There is a lot of challenge around us ensuring that electronically it's safe, and weatherproofing and all of that complexity ensures that the setup is as easy as possible. And then we look at affordability of our systems in our next pillar. We've had multiple customers across multiple use cases, from solar farming to security, all requiring different sensors and different functionality and different kind of software add-ons. So coupled with Flightbase's vast array of enterprise add-ons from a software point of view, we then had to think about, from a hardware point of view, how do we simplify clients' use cases, and how do we ensure they can scale their business. So some examples of that are recently solar farming, for example, need pyranometers. So they only want to send the drone on a mission when the data is going to be good enough and the drone can actually take the data. So we've installed pyranometers. We had to extend the LTE antenna, so installing a telescopic pole so the antenna gets good signal in that remote location in a solar farm. And we did that in a matter of weeks because our system is so modular and so simple to update and make changes to. Again, it takes us towards the drone fleet. So our clients then said to us, we want to use our drones. We don't want to have to buy additional drones because we already have that fleet. So can we integrate that into your docking stations? So coupled with Flightbase's capability of simply adding a drone to that docking station for a binding process, we've developed processes in the docking station to be able to do that remotely, particularly with the Mavic 3. So we can trigger that binding process without anyone having to physically press a button. So it's these kind of modifications and charging methods that we do in-house. So we get them drones in hand. We work out how can we build a modification that isn't evasive, doesn't impact on the battery, doesn't do anything that's going to affect the warranty of the product. We do it through physical presses in the docking station, and it's really simple and really effective and really reliable. So then we move on to our next pillar around affordability is replacement. So we have clients in industries like solar farming and security where their docking stations are just left there. They're doing their thing, they're collecting the data, they're securing premises. But what happens 2-3 years down the line? That client doesn't want to have to then go out and search for another docking station, another drone. We take the client on that journey and we support them over that period. So with the different packages that we have, we can organize swap outs and changes to new and upgraded systems. So you're not having to worry about procuring different technology and that complication. And it also enables you, for future developments, to put these systems into the CapEx. So you have all of your kind of fundamentals to enable a docking station already on that site. So looking at our third pillar around scalability, there's kind of key 3 areas. Scale pricing. So yes, initial docking stations for a POC can feel costly, but once you've got that POC confirmed, you've got all that evidence and data and your client's really pleased with what they're receiving, it's then about coming back to us and saying, right, we need 10, 15, 20 docking stations. What's the scale pricing? We can talk through that and we can help you, get the best return on investment you possibly can for this technology. And then managing your fleet is a big one around scalability. Imagine having 10, 15 docking stations scattered around that you need to manage, and that can get quite complex. So we have partners that can assist with that and support with that, along with Flightbase's simplicity around their user interface. Your journey as a client for scalability is managed and simple. And the third pillar of scalability is around the simple user interface, hence why we're partnered with Flightbase. You can see, and you've probably seen throughout your presentations, how simple the user interface is, and ease of use, and the data you can collect is enormous. So partnering with Flightbase ensures the future and scalability of our technology. So that kind of gives you a feel of where we're heading and what we do. We're very passionate about what we do, and we're very excited to launch our product. So this is probably what you've been waiting for. We've had lots of excitement around this. You've got lots of people contacting us saying, when is it being released? So today is the day we're releasing it, literally right down to the wire, getting our system finished and ready for production in March. So without further ado, I'll play you our video launch. So that's the launch of our Nexus Plus. Thanks for watching the video. And there was a couple of interruptions in between, so apologies for that. So we're going to take you on a little walk around our system. We're live here in our development centre, and I want to take you around and just kind of describe what we've done, why we've done it, and why we think it sets us apart from our competitors and advances our system for the future here in the UK, Europe, and globally. And it's a Nexus Plus for a reason. And I'm going to talk more about what the Plus means going forward, and what that means for our business going forward. So this is our first production model of our Nexus Plus. Yes, the system is slightly bigger than our previous system, but we've made some massive improvements to weatherproofing. We've raised it off the ground, as you can see here, with some small feet. We've raised it by about 200 millimeters. That protects it from the elements and dust. We've also improved the way we do our electronics. So throughout our development, we tried different methods of electronic installation. We tried underneath, at the back, but the most perfect method we found is having it under the hood. And we'll show you a little bit more what we've done and how we've protected that from the elements. We have advanced heating and cooling systems now integrated into the docking station. Instead of having a separate unit you may have seen or been used to seeing from the Nexus, it's now a completely integrated HVAC system, providing us with direct cooling to that battery that needs that resource. We've then curved the roof for different elements. So if it's snowing, raining, the rain will just go to the sides. If it's snowing, it will drip off from the sides because we have the heater elements inside the docks, which maintains the integrity of the tag on top of the docking station. One common theme from our clients, from our Nexus system, particularly our clients who perform inspections and surveys of solar farming, as you probably hear as a regular theme from our client base, is the comms unit. So traditionally, we had all of our technology and communications on top of the docking station. One, that gave us challenges with weatherproofing, but secondly, it gave our clients challenges with communication, both from the RC for BVLOS, and secondly for LTE communication in remote locations. So you can probably see behind me, if I go this way so I can maintain the frame, this now can be pole mounted. So we provide you with different options to mount this comms unit, this case. So you can attach it to the back of the dock, the side of the dock, or you can have it pole mounted up high. We can provide you the cable length you need and the different attachments you need within that comms unit. So this comms unit provides kind of multiple different resources. So we have the weather station on top, we have the LTE antenna, the RC's antenna come out from the top of the enclosure, and then we have our status indicators that give you a visual indication that everything on the docking station is doing what it should be doing. That gives you a good view that everything's working, but also for us remotely, we can access that diagnostics if you have a problem and diagnose things really quickly. The system also has lighting to perform remote operations at night. So kind of one of the significant changes we've made, as I said, to the heating and cooling system, which is at the back of the docking station. This kind of becomes critical in hot locations, cold locations, but also enables you to have the one unit. So if you are moving the docking station from location to location, because we have clients here in the UK who need to rapidly deploy this system for security, they can take it out the rear of the van as one unit. They're not putting multiple units together to try and get out there and get a mission started. As I said before, the powering of docking stations is critical, and sometimes you lose power, as everyone's probably experienced at some point or another. So our clients were experiencing that. And what do you do if you lose power and your drone's in the air? Because it needs that power to power the RC, the cloud information for flight now. So all of that data is lost. Yes, there's fail-safes for the drone to go back to safe location, etc. But we wanted to make sure that it can always come back, land in the drone, land in the dock and be home safely. So inside the docking station is also a UPS system. So if mains power is removed, the docking station maintains its integrity for up to 30 minutes, which is longer than the current Mavic can fly. So you always guarantee that the drone is going to get back after its mission and be able to dock safely. A real critical improvement for security and police forces here in the UK. So in terms of access for maintenance and repair, we've made it really simple. It was quite complex with our last system. It worked, but it was complex. We had to put a dock on its side, or we had to lift it up, and it was quite difficult to get into. Now, if someone wants to come over and give me a hand, we can show you how you can access this system quite easily. Have you understood already? Yeah.
So you lift up. So the casing just comes off and go to the back or go to the side, and you can manage the whole electrical system from the top. There is no electrical below that point. So any poor weather conditions, or it's raining and the drone comes into land, any water that drips out through the bottom of the docking station, and none of the integrity of the electronics is compromised. And again, when we're replacing, very simple, it's going to put back on after maintenance. It's bolted back into place, sealed and secure. Again, very simple method, but improves massively our IP rating capability in the future. Most of these systems are IP55, but we want to strive to get as high 6 plus as we possibly can, and we'll keep working towards that in the future. So in terms of getting into the system, we can easily access through the drawer. So if we need to maintain anything inside the docking station, because we need to change some of the electronics, or you need to maintain some of the charge process, it's quite simple to get inside the docking station. So we're just triggering a docking station open command. The maintenance engineers can do that remotely, or they can do it locally on the docking station. We then power down and we can access inside the docking station. And you've probably seen on the video, how do we see when the drone is taking off and landing, and how do we manage the drone when it's in the box? So we took a lot of feedback from the CAA and other aviation authorities about how people can start to operate systems remotely. And part of that was, how do we do them pre-flight checks, and how do we do them physical checks of the drones? Nigh impossible if the drone's in a remote location inside a case. So we provide you with 4 cameras inside on the hood, above the drone, which can identify all 4 props. And we're currently testing and developing some IR sensors, so we can check the temperature of the motors after landing, and the battery temperature. So we can get lots of data, and you can have lots of decision making based on the camera and the sensors that we're putting in. And then you have 2 cameras on the external, so you can always see the takeoff and landing, and you know that it's safe. Coupled with the tags we have on the front here of the door, which the drone reads on landing to confirm it's in a good position. So there's lots of safety features that we've embedded as much as we can to ensure that when you go to the CAA for approvals, you can say, well, actually, we're using the IDIPLOYER system and it has all of this. We use FlightNow software and it has all of these safety mitigations. So that's kind of a whistle tour of the system. The Mavic 2 series has been a successful integration for us. You've probably seen that being widely used by our systems. We now have integrated stock from the Mavic 3, Mavic 3 Thermal, and Mavic 3 enterprise systems. So as soon as the software is released from Flightbase, which they're very close to completing, our dock is ready. So we're taking pre-orders on that Mavic 3 system, and it's ready for both. So if you want a Mavic 2 or 3, you can use either in this docking station. And we'll talk a little bit more about the Plus I talked about. It's Plus non-DJI products. So we have a huge vision going forward for this year to have multiple drones integrated into our docking stations. We already have 2 drone manufacturers that have requested us to integrate their drones, or build a new docking station for their drones. But we have 2 specifically that are going to be into this system, which will be announcing over the next few weeks. So we're going to now go back to the slides. We're going to go through some of the different docking station ideas and different designs that we have for the future. So I'll be back with you in a couple of seconds.
There we go. Seamless. Was that seamless enough? I think it was okay. So yes, I'll share my my slides again. Just have to bear with me while I get back into onto the slides. So we've gone through our docking stage, and I've briefly talked about being drone agnostic. And you know, the message we're sending out there today to all of our clients and the audience is: have you got a drone in mind? Are you a manufacturer of a drone that you need a docking station for? Or do you have any specific requirements for the Nexus Plus that you think, actually, we need these sensors, we need this kind of interaction, and we can do that for you? So just get in touch with us, and we can, you know, we can help you develop, or we can develop for you a suitable docking station. So here's the kind of some of the docking station designs we already have for some clients. So we have a vehicle mounted option. We then have a VTOL dock, and also a dock for a kind of Mavic, Enterprise 300 and 300 size drone with a bigger enclosure and more complex sort of landing sequences and charging, etc. So yes, we are hugely ambitious to develop these systems. We've got lots of partner interest to support us on that journey. And you know, we've got partners here in the UK, and we want to particularly introduce you today to Protagonist Protection, who have been a backbone of our development and support, and been absolutely superb in terms of the security industry and integrating these systems into the security industry. So I've got a short video to show you of Protagonist Protection.
Hello all, I'm in conversation with Steve O'Callaghan, the CEO and founder of Protagonist Protection. And who is he and what drew him to the autonomous drone world? Let's hear from him directly. So over to you, Steve. What led you to start up Protagonist Protection?
For myself, my background is from the British military. I served for 17 years in the British Army before leaving, and then heading on the private sector for 4 years, working overseas in Iraq, protecting ambassadors and dignitaries through close protection for the British Embassy. From there, I then moved back to UK, where then I set up Protagonist Protection, which is a high-level security consultancy firm. We specialise in high-level protection, both close protection. We have also other security specialist services, from security site assessments, international protection, asset protection, residential security, and then also now we've now turned our direction towards UAV security.
So I was about to ask this question. So with the range of security options that you provide, what specifically brought you to the drone industry? Were there some customers looking for the solution, or how did you end up in the drone industry?
Yeah, so I think it was much about 18 months ago now, where we seen a gap in the market for the use of drones for both the public safety and security sector. We've seen that it wasn't being utilised to its more the best advantage. So after a discussion with the team, we decided to bring on board a UAV specialist, which is our UAV director, and then set up our now UAV business model, and how to best implement and integrate the use of drones and UAVs into our business model and utilise them for the safety and security purposes.
Yes. So based on my conversations with you, I've heard you setting up a command center to operate the complete operations. So what are the gaps do you think in the current security industry with the help of a command center and autonomous drone-in-a-box solution can fill?
I think the main issue there, really, that we're looking to solve, the main problem we're looking to solve there, is situational awareness. By utilising UAVs and drones in the security industry, it gives the teams on the ground that greater level of situational awareness of what's going on around them. Whereas at the moment, we just have the ground level field of view. You're not only providing with that aerial awareness, but you're providing with more of protection for the team and whatever the team's looking after. Whether that be a site asset, a person, a vehicle, whatever it may be, infrastructure, you've got that overall awareness completely 360, 24/7 if needed. And again, you're not only looking out for the protection of the item or infrastructure you're looking after, but also your team as well.
Yes. Definitely, that makes a lot of sense. And there's so many autonomous solutions available in the market, right? So what brought you to IDIPLOYER solution, and since when are you using it, or how are you trying to deploy them?
Yeah, so I think so. We target a number of sectors that's ranging from aviation to transport and logistics. How we look to then best implement automated solutions into our model. So what we see at the moment is there's a lot of issues around surrounding theft, intrusion, criminal damage, whereas personnel can't be all the time. Now, by implementing the automated systems, the drone-in-a-box system onto, let's say, for instance, a construction site, you've got that greater awareness of what's going on that construction site in order to monitor and better protect the site, but also protect the actual personnel working on the site, not only your staff, but also the construction workers and the development itself. Now, what this does give and what this does help and aid your people on the ground is by having a central command centre. You're not only giving that information to the team on the ground, but you can also provide that information to the clients when they need it. So with the automated systems that we set up and the flights we set up, if, for instance, we need to change course of action or we need to do an ad hoc task, again, that's something that we can put into place immediately and straight away without having to reschedule another mission. So I think the flexibility, the capability, and the fact that it's completely customizable in regards to the automation side is real key.
Definitely. And how has your experience been working with the IDIPLOYER and the FlightNow team so far?
Yeah, certainly it's been a very, very enjoyable journey from start to where we are now. I'd say we initially come across IDIPLOYER's system through chatting to some of our contacts who put us in touch with IDIPLOYER, Peter and Rob. When we went to meet them, we looked at their system, and it's a fantastic.
Yeah. I think we're back. We've lost connection for a second there. Are we audible, Danish?
Yeah, yes, Peter, you're audible.
So I'll just share my screen and just finish that last slide while we're waiting for him. So kind of what sets us apart from the rest, really, and the customization of our systems. We're drone agnostic. We have in-house production here in UK, so we can develop really quickly. Your journey doesn't end when you purchase a product.
Yeah, Peter, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we have the aftercare. And then we have scalable pricing and UK manufacturing. All of these set us apart from some of our competitors. So yeah, it'd be great to get some Q&A. So I'll hand over to Danish. He says, and he drops off. Might have to do my own Q&A session if I can get into the Q&As. So I'm just going to look through some of these questions while Danish is trying to get himself back onto the system. A few technical issues there, so apologies for that. So kind of question here around how does the landing work? So we have AR tags on top of the docking station. So we have a 15-meter tag. So in your mission planning, you set your mission to return to the docking station at the end of that mission. So the drone will return to the docking station in its preset location. The drone will then descend to 15 meters. The gimbal will drop and start to search for that tag. As soon as it's identified that tag, it will then the drawer will open and it will start to find the smaller tags on the landing platform. If it can't find that 50-meter tag first time, it will do a search. So it will start to rotate. It will alter its white balance to try and find that tag. But 100% of the time we found a tag. It's never failed to do that. It will then descend, reading the RDU tags all the way down to 0, landing very accurately on the platform. The guided landing that Flightbase have developed is absolutely superb for high winds, and we've got a demonstration video of that. So can book a meeting with us, and we can go through some of the really lengthy technical details of the systems.
Yeah, am I audible now?
I've gone through one of the Q&A and you absolutely talked about landing. How does that
I
work?
think I can't hear you. But meanwhile, I think people have questions. Maybe you can just have a look at it and answer them as per your convenience.
Yeah, no problem.
And I think we just have 3 minutes left for the session to end. So I think we can take few questions, right,
Yeah,
Peter?
sure.
Can you see the Q&A tab, Peter?
Yes.
Yeah, you can answer the questions if you want.
Okay, yeah, so when we're looking at automating charging, so Romero Perez has asked a question, how does the automatic charging work? So for the Mavic 2, we have a small flexible PCB that goes between the drone and the battery. We then have a small modification, so an attachment, not a modification, attachment on the drone, very lightweight. That has charge contacts. When the drone reverses into the docking station, it's centralized with millimeter accuracy, and it makes connection inside the dock. We then send the charge command. So very simple process, and it's very effective. Similar process for the Mavic 3, but a slightly different connection method, which we'll share with you once the product's released. But again, it's a very simple, a much better way with the Mavic 3 because we can use the connectors that are already on that drone at the rear of the drone to send that charge. So it's a very simple method, but we developed the charging in-house here in Reading in the UK. Does the docking station have a GPS module? It has capability for GPS modules. We tend to take the GPS location of the drone for the docking station, but we have been requested previously to install GPS modules. So as the docking station is moving on a boat or on a trailer, we can constantly update the GPS location of the dock. But I think we're kind of coming to the end now. So are you audible now, Danish? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I've gone through 3 or 4 questions. I'll hand over to you.
All right. So, I mean, have you answered a few of the questions that are visible here?
Yeah, so we talked about how we charge, GPS modules and landing. I don't know if you've got time for any more questions.
So yeah, there's one more. Is the product only available in the UK or do you ship worldwide? No,
we ship worldwide. We have lots of UK and EU clients, but we also have clients in across America, Canada. We've got clients in Far East. They're all over the place. Okay. So Peter, one last question. Could you please share your thoughts or comments on the open DIP movement or the modular approach, right, in which all the companies contribute to each layer of drone autonomy, and what are its benefits and how will it help us grow the industry? Yeah, absolutely. When we speak to clients, they kind of always start with the barriers of entry to autonomy and automation, and the barriers to regulations and such like. But we always ask the clients to take a step back, and that time will come. If you look at the industry 5 years ago, it's night and day in terms of the technology and the development of systems. So I would take a really open-minded view. There's been a couple of sessions before this that have kind of described what I'm going to describe, and that is you can still operate these systems under the current regulations, just have visual sight. If that takes 3 months for you to have someone on site with the docking station observing the drone but not interacting unless you need to for safety reasons, then that is all huge amounts of evidence. When that button is pressed for BVLOS and you can get the regulatory approvals in a simpler way, which will be coming up, we can see that coming, then you'll be one step ahead of your competitors as a DSP, and your evidence will be there just to go straight to them and say, look, we've been using the IDIPLOYER system for 6 months, a year. these are the issues we've had, or we've had no issues, or these are the issues we had, and these are how Flightbase and IDIPLOYER have mitigated them and supported us on that journey. So, yeah, it's now's the time to start. Yeah.
All right, Peter. Thank you so much, Peter, for your time. Would you like to share any closing thoughts?
Yeah, again, thank you to Flightbase, Bashali particularly. I know you've stolen her account by the looks of it. Bashali particularly for organising this event. It's always amazing every year. She put a huge amount of effort in. Let's continue this BVLOS journey. And yeah, we are really excited for clients and viewers to get in touch with us and take you on that journey of automation.
All right. Thank you all for joining us today. Hope you're having a great time at NestGen, and let us know how you found the session in the comments. And coming up is the next few sessions coming up in the next few minutes are 3 sessions. Please go to the sessions tab and attend the session of your choice. See you in the next session. All right. Bye, Peter.
All right.